Welcome to Surviving the Side Hustle, the show where driven entrepreneurs share the real stories, the real honest struggles, and the hard-won secrets behind performing at their best. I'm your host, Rob Tracy, a personal performance strategist and the founder of TAPS Coaching, where I partner with entrepreneurs to turn real effort into real momentum. Every week, I sit down with an owner-operator who's building something of their own, and we get past the highlight reel to find out what's actually working. Because the truth is, most people don't need more. They need to pay attention to what works for them and do more of that. So whatever you're building, let's stop spinning and start winning. We'll jump into the show right after this. If you're an entrepreneur or owner-operator who's working hard but feeling stuck spinning your wheels instead of building real momentum, I'd love to help. I want to invite you to a free strategy session with one of our performance strategists. We'll help you see what's actually working, what's holding you back, and the clearest next step to get your momentum going again. To claim your free strategy session, head over to survivingthesidehustle.com/free call. Again, that's survivingthesidehustle.com/free call. We'd love to talk to you. And now back to the episode. What's going on? And welcome back to another episode of Surviving the Side Hustle. Today we have a special returning guest. We've got Maria Garcia on again today. And last time Maria was on the show, she walked us through one of the most insane recovery stories that I've ever heard. She had a stroke at 25, paralyzed, neck down, communicating through just her finger taps and eye movement, and a 15-year crawlback to herself that finally cracked open when she found nutrition. So that episode was powerful. I still got people messaging me about it. It was one of the more popular ones. So when Maria and I reconnected, I had to bring her back on because she's not the same as she was in that last episode, which was totally different Maria from way back in the day. So I'm super excited because she's got a lot of exciting things to share with us. She's got a book chapter coming out. She's running her own brand. She's fully stepped into this mission that has some real urgency behind it. So today's not just a recap of our previous one. Today is all about what happens after you survive the thing and decide that survival wasn't the full point. So I highly encourage you to go back and check out episode 131 of Surviving the Side Hustle. So in the meantime, here's a little intro background, just in case you haven't checked out that episode yet. Maria Garcia is a nutrition coach. She's positioned or stationed out of New Jersey, but she's helping people worldwide. She spent 15 years clawing her way back from a stroke that paralyzed her until she found this dietary approach that gave her her life back. She's now building Genuinely Maria, a coaching practice focused on helping people sidestep the metabolic illness that's quietly eating most of the country alive. She's got a chapter coming out in this upcoming book, and this is her second time on the show. So join me in welcoming Maria to the show. Maria, how are you doing?
Good, thanks for bringing me back. It's a pleasure to be here with you, Rob.
Yeah, and I'm excited to kind of dive in. Our first episode was one of our more popular ones. So I was like, yeah, definitely got to get Maria back on, see what she's up to and what's going on. But for those listeners who haven't heard the first episode, could you give us a quick version on how we got connected and how you ended up here?
Okay, so you and I met, I believe, in Connected Leaders Academy, which is a networking group. And we actually met in person at an event in Connecticut. So that was great. And then it turned out we're both in the same group.
Yeah, and it's a powerful way to just look at how networks are so powerful because you can get connected, get in touch with super awesome people. So it's very powerful there. Would you mind just giving the quick elevator story background on yourself and the stroke and like where that came from and how you climbed back from that?
Yeah, so what I say is, my name is Maria, I live in New Jersey. I call myself the nutrition coach with the sexy voice. And the reason my voice is so sexy is because at 25, I had a stroke that left me paralyzed from the nose down. So it's also mute. Today my voice is probably one of the lingering things, but I've been able to claw myself back It took me a long time, but here I am. And it was nutrition that gave me my life back. I mean, I did all kinds of things in those 15 years. I did stem cell injections, hyperbaric oxygen therapy. I did yoga like crazy. I did therapy in Germany for over a month. And what gave me my life back was looking at my nutrition. All those things helped, but it was nutrition that took me to the next level. And I just want to help people avoid wasting 15 years of their lives when the answer is so much easier than we think.
I love that. And when we first talked, you had mentioned that you had realized that you wanted to start doing more public speaking, mostly because how powerful your story is and how you might be able to help more people with that. And that was like over a year ago. So I want to ask you, like, what's new in the public speaking world? How are you doing with that new adventure? And what's like actually moved on that front?
That's moving very slowly, I must admit, because I'm in my own way, right? But I am doing a lot of podcasts, and I just got back from Texas from doing powerful self-transformation course called Dynamic Life, which is part of a speaker forum. And that was only the beginning. So I'm sure that better things are coming.
I love that. And it sounds like another great networking opportunity to get connected with other speakers. And I'm sure you met a lot of interesting people down there. And I wanted to ask, like, where along in your journey did you kind of like stop introducing yourself as someone who's recovering or recovered from a stroke and really started introducing yourself as a coach with a mission?
I'm still working on that one as well, right? The mission was given to me. I didn't take on that mission. Basically, it found me. And it does take a while to start to see myself as somebody who can guide others. Because, frankly, I never thought of myself as an entrepreneur or any of that. This all just basically landed on my lap. But now I see that with coaching many clients, how much their lives have changed. And I realized, wow, this is powerful. I need to be more proactive, see myself in a different light.
Yeah. And, you know, it's powerful stuff because you know that everything that you're working on and you teach in your coaching can get some incredible, like, life-changing results. So there are so many people out there who need your help. So that makes it that much more important for you to get your message clear, get out and get connected with people. Has your coaching approach changed much over the past year or so, or are you still kind of the same focus with nutrition and making sure that you're dialing? Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, the focus is still the same. I mean, there are many things that can be helpful besides nutrition. However, nutrition is the 80%. That's where you're going to see the most gains. So therapies and whatever else, think of that as the other 20%. And not like, I wouldn't say therapy is 20%. Therapy is among the 20%. But nutrition is really where it's at. So yeah, the approach is very much similar.
So what does it look like working with you? Is it just meal plans and like recommendations, or can you explain a little bit deeper?
Yeah, so it's a little more than that. My flagship program is a 3-month program. And in that program, first we start off with understanding your food psychology. So you start to make changes from awareness instead of willpower, which is where diets, and this is not a diet, this is a lifestyle, which is actually the original meaning of the word diet, which is hijacked as humans. I know, because when I think of an animal in the zoo, I don't think, oh, they're on a diet. No, it's their diet, right? And that's what the original word means. So we get into your food psychology, and then we make incremental changes week by week, and your life basically transforms.
I see. I see. So it takes about 3 months as you're coaching. Is that where you start to see a lot of the results starting to pour in, or is it really, because you said it's a lifestyle change? It's not like just a quick fix.
Yeah, so I start to see changes, honestly, in about week 3 or 4 for most people. And then the bigger changes happen in maybe weeks 8 and 9 and going forward. But if changes in sleep, changes in mood, changes in skin, those are all pretty fast.
Yeah, I imagine just after a period of time, you start to see some of those things clearing up and changing for the better. But I would love to kind of dive in a little bit here, because last time we talked a lot about the struggle of kind of getting your body back, like regaining control of your own body. And I want to talk about a different kind of struggle a little bit today. Like, I know recently when we first connected, you were sharing about how you've built the business and you've got real clients and you're hitting a different wall now. Specifically, you told me that there has been some changes with like Meta's AI update that really broke your entire like ad strategy. I guess you used to specifically target these individual audiences, like the curious and open people but now you're like a victim to what Meta picks for you, and quality kind of drops off. Can you walk me through, one, what that felt like as a business owner when that first kind of popped up? And then two, also kind of like how you're handling the changes now.
Yeah, so as you can imagine, that's extremely frustrating because I had something that was working pretty well and all of a sudden it started to not work. And I thought, what is going on? I didn't even find out from Meta themselves. I had to dig into what was different. And then I realized, no, Meta's actually choosing my audience. So I stopped the ads for now. Maybe a month or two ago. I want to go back in and tweak one of the videos that I made as part of the ad, my mini course, but I also want to try a different strategy using their AI, because you're not given really a choice. So I need to change how I pick my audiences.
And so you're going in and you're changing that now. And like, so is that something you have to do on a daily basis, or like how are you like navigating this?
So it's not something I have to do daily.
Oh, okay.
Once the ads are running, then you can monitor them daily just to make sure. But it doesn't even need to be daily. As long as you look at it maybe at least once a week, then you're doing well. Right now it's just about me doing certain things and picking a strategy, and I've been thinking about this for the last days, and I think I have something that hopefully will.
All right. I like it. I like it. And I also want to dive in because when you had first had your first live class for coaching, you said you were very anxious up to the point of right before it began. So when you're thinking ahead to envisioning yourself on bigger stages and speaking platforms and stuff like that, what's the version of fear that you're working through now?
A lot of it is me in my own way. Like I have to work on myself internally because I know that people can do the same thing and some people will get results and others won't. And all that has to do with is who you are, right? Because everybody has different wounds, basically, from childhood. And so I'm working on a lot of that stuff. And I'm also speaking more, like I'm also not just focusing on that, I'm focusing on the strategy part. But without the internal, the strategy can be as great as anything. And I still wouldn't get results if I don't work on myself.
Yeah, I love that. Speaking of strategy, you once said that hope is not a strategy, and that's pretty powerful stuff.
Yeah. And I know I said today, hope, that's just the way I speak, but that's what I meant with hope is not a strategy for me. For being on social media and hoping the algorithm just sends me the right people. That's hopium. to me.
Yeah, hopium. That's funny. How do like people like 'cause so many people do that, right? They just kind of create some stuff and they pretty much just create stuff to just create stuff. And I know because I've been there. I've been in like posted different reels and different things just to post it and had no real intention behind it. How do you make sure that you don't fall into that kind of trap and make sure that you're staying intentional with what you're doing?
Well, that's very easy for me because I have a very big allergy to social media. So I'm not in there very much. And that's probably a fallacy on my part, but I prefer to meet people in person. I don't
Yeah.
want to spend my life on social media making reels and making content.
Yeah, that's important too. I feel like a lot of people nowadays default to that. And again, that was also me as well. Like I remember one of my mentors was really pushing for me to clean up my website and make sure that I was growing my email list. And I remember just going back to him being like, why? Like everybody's on social media. Like, shouldn't I just be doubling down on this? And he was telling me, no, like you, in case if something ever goes down, like Meta or LinkedIn or something crashes for some reason, you still want to have access to your potential leads and prospects like that. And there's a whole other side to just that in-person energy that you get when you can literally be in front of somebody and talk and connect and get to know somebody. And too many people are hiding behind their screens, I feel like nowadays.
Right, and you never know. You really never know. I just heard of the CEO of our networking group. He got banned from Facebook. He got banned from sending personal messages. He can still post, but he can't send messages. And it's like, basically, your business, you're handing over to this entity.
Yeah. And you
And
can't
you're
let
letting
that
it look
rely.
for.
Yeah, that's essentially it's the same thing, right? As the hopium and just kind of sitting back and hoping. Nice. Well, so I'd also like to get a little tactical too, because you're working with people who are really looking for radical health transformations. Some, I believe, are athletes, and some people are in real serious trouble with their health. What are you doing on like the day to day that you weren't doing maybe a year or so ago?
I'm being more mindful to move my body. But again, diet and movement, they go hand in hand. It's like, okay, you can go to the gym, but if you eat like crap, you're not gonna run a bad diet.
Mm-hmm.
So they go hand in hand. And I'm being more mindful to do that for myself now as I get older.
And on like the professional side of things, how are you making sure that you're like staying in tune with your clients? Are you is it still like checking in with them? And how are you helping them also make sure that they are going hand in hand with their nutrition and their movement and everything?
So I have a group available for graduates of the flagship 3-month program. And it's a longer term program just for graduates where we do a lot of the things we did in the 3 months as a group, and we do fasting and information. That's basically how I keep those interested in going further with me. But I will say this, you or people that join the 3-month program, they get everything they need. We give them everything. I'm not here. I want you not to need me.
Mm.
I don't want you to need me. I will help you, and I will hold your hand as long as you want. But the goal is for you to be on your own, for you not to need my guidance.
Yeah, that's powerful stuff too. And I remember when I was in strength and conditioning and doing fitness coaching, I would have clients kind of graduating away from me. That was always my goal was like, hey, I want you to be comfortable enough, like squatting with a barbell, deadlifting. I want you to know how to meal prep and get yourself ready. Like as much as I like hanging out and chatting with you, like you don't want to just be tied to me forever. You want to make sure that you're constantly learning and growing as well, instead of just me doing everything for you.
Okay.
Hey, what's up? Sorry for the interruption. It's Rob. One quick thing before we keep going. If you're feeling stuck or like you've lost the momentum that you used to have, here's a simple, free first step. Take the assessment at gettheprime.com. In just a few minutes, it'll show you exactly where you're leaking momentum, so you can get that ball rolling again with the Prime app. It's completely free. So if you're new here, this is the best place to start. Go ahead to gettheprime.com and take the free assessment. All right, let's get back into it. So you've said in the past, you've said that like nearly 90% of Americans are metabolically ill, which is wild. So for those side hustlers who are listening right now, or those business owners who maybe feel tired all the time and are just saying like, hey, that's just the price of building something, what's the first thing you'd have them look at?
It's definitely not just being tired, and it's definitely not just getting older. The first thing I would say is look at how much hydration you're getting. That's very important. I know we all hear it ad nauseum. Hey, drink a glass of water. But we don't really know what it does until we tried. When I was told to drink that much water, I thought, I'm not thirsty. I can't drink that much water. And I don't want to do it. And then once I did it, I'm like, wow, I'm waking up with a lot more energy. So be mindful of that. And also breathing is important. Doing deep breathing.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So one exercise, a really simple one, is called box breathing. You breathe in 5, hold 5, breathe out 5, and hold 5 on the exhale. So it's like a box. And you repeat that a couple of times.
Yeah, I love that. That's the breath work is very powerful. And going back to what you were saying about the hydration too, I remember I think maybe it was undergrad, one of my professors, I think, was pointing out that when you feel thirsty, you're already dehydrated.
Yes.
So it's like, that's not an indicator. That's like the sign already saying like, hey, now you're way behind.
Yep. I've heard that too. And I tell people that.
So I want to ask, because I know you said before that you're pairing not only just the nutrition, but also moving your body a lot more, going to the gym and doing a lot of other things. How do you know when to decide to like push through a little bit further because it's part of what you're trying to do, versus when it's time to like back off and genuinely give your body additional rest? Because I know there's a lot of injuries happen, and like sometimes you just, as entrepreneurs, we try to like push through and try to grind a couple extra hours here and there. So how do we know, like in the gym and also like in our businesses?
To be honest, I'm not a big fan of pushing my body at all. I give my body the movement that I feel like it requires. If I get tired, I stop. And I don't really get tired per se, but if I feel like I've been doing plenty of this or enough of this, I don't push it. I don't want to get hurt. I get hurt easily, but I'm also not pushing myself as much. And maybe that's a fallacy. Maybe I could push a little more, but I'm very mindful to stop when I think I need to stop. And as far as work, the same thing. I don't do something that I feel like,
Yeah, I love that. And from my earliest days, it was always paying attention to like what season I was in. So back when it was like sports preseason, yeah, you could push really hard. You can kind of get yourself grinding. When you're in season, it was always like, okay, push hard during the games, but practices throughout the weeks, it's like, okay, I want to tone it down a little bit. And then the playoffs, it's like, okay, this is where we really crank it up hard for the games and making sure that we double down on a recovery for during the week and whatnot. And I feel like that same idea kind of transcended into the business world for myself too, like being clear. There's different seasons for your life and your business. There's like a ramp up periods. There's like maintenance periods. There's even down periods too, right? Like maybe tax season's always pretty difficult for a lot of businesses. Holiday seasons are always difficult for businesses. So I feel like being aware of the different seasons you're in also is a good indicator for that. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I totally agree with that. Ask yourself what's needed in this moment. And that's what you want to do. I mean, if you have a deadline, you want to pursue the deadline. And if you don't, you don't. I say that I like to conserve energy. So I always ask myself, what is required? What is required? And then you do what's required. If you have to work until 2 a.m. one night, That's what you have to do. And I've done that. I work till 4 a.m. But if that's not required, I prefer to sleep. Right?
Yeah. Well, that's a good point too. It's like asking yourself what is required. And I feel like a lot of people don't spend the time to really identify like what is required. I think a lot of people just kind of operate off of what I guess maybe society or other people tell them what they should be doing and when. But I feel like when you really understand your why for that specific time period, it can be a huge game changer. And I know previously you shared one of your major whys on how you keep pushing yourself forward, and specifically with your body and business. You had said that one of your whys was that you never want to go back to wearing diapers, which is one of the strongest whys I've ever heard. So how do you help your clients really discover their whys that stay strong without needing to almost die first?
I know that is, that can be a challenge, right? Because most of us, myself included, only learn when something goes wrong in my life. We don't tend to learn from other people. So I try to reinforce my story and say, do you want to be where I was? Do you want to not get there and learn from what happened to me? And I help them picture what it is that they want. What it is that they want 20 years out, 30 years out, even 40 years out. I mean, is it you want to walk your granddaughter down the aisle? Do you want to play with your grandkids on the floor and be able to get out by yourself? And that's something to strive for. But it is also important to have rock bottom tableau. What is it that you want to avoid? What is a fear of yours? Is it being in a hospital, helpless? What is it? Is it being in a wheelchair? Is it being a burden to your family? What is it? And I don't do all that, but I think it is important for people to also have that. Because this is like the carrot and the stick, right? Most people move because of the stick as opposed to the carrot.
Yeah, and I love that too. And I feel like so many people, I mean, I remember when I saw fitness and even sports performance and even in personal performance now, like people get comfortable because it's not uncomfortable enough to change, and the reward's not quite beneficial for them to make that change. So they kind of sit in that limbo spot, right? And I think if you define like, okay, well, this is going to be this boundary and that's what I'm striving for, it helps a little bit. So I want to ask, like, because I know a lot of things change, especially in research and in strength and conditioning. I would always read the newest articles in the different journals each month when they would come out. And I know in nutrition, there's a lot of things that are changing all the time as well. And business, it's always changing. You got to make sure you're changing. Otherwise, if you stay stagnant, you'll probably slow down and fold or go under. So in terms of nutrition, what's something either that you didn't know before or something you changed your mind, or maybe what's a new strategy or trend that you're really helping a lot of clients with?
So something that was huge for me, I always believed being a vegetarian was healthier. That's what I learned my whole life. That's what we're told. And that is actually not true. If somebody wants to follow that path for humanitarian reasons, go right ahead. I'm not here to tell you how to eat. However, if you're doing it for health, you're going down the wrong path, because it's absolutely not.
And because that's kind of what's helped you gain back your body, right? Is more of the animal proteins and fats, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I want to make sure that people know how to find you and what you're working on right now, because there's a couple of different things. So would you mind telling us a little bit about the book chapter that you've got coming up? Time of recording is a little bit before when the book's about to launch. So when this episode does drop, it'll be ready to go. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I'm in a book called The Change with Jim Lutz and Jim Britt, and that's going to be coming out pretty soon. I already submitted my chapter. It's already been published, so I expect that to drop in the next couple of months, and I'm really excited about that, because I wrote I'm very...
Oh, nice. And what did did you write about? Can you give us a little hint on it, or is it something we got to wait and read?
Well, basically, it's why I'm doing what I'm doing and what it can do for you. But I feel like it's very well written.
Awesome. I love that. And then we will make sure that people will be able to find that, right? I'm sure it'll be on your website and be able to get to that. And would you be able to share a little bit more on what's Genuinely Maria and what made you kind of decide to build your own name as a brand this time?
Yeah. Basically, I had a download that first day of class ever. I had a download with make this my name. And I thought, well, my name is Maria Garcia. What's an adjective that starts with G that I like? And I was like, Genuinely Maria. And so that's what I'm building, because I think that's even better, because then you could do different things if you ever want to change your modality or expand your modality. You don't really have to do a rebrand. You just, your name is your name. That's the brand.
Yeah, I love that. And I know that you're also offering free discovery sessions for anybody who wants to see if they're a good fit with you. So who exactly should try to book that call is just as important. But so like who's the person who's looking to work with you?
Anybody who's tired of managing symptoms and wants real recovery. Anybody who believes, or doesn't believe rather, that getting older means slowing down and wants to feel fantastic again. And just basically anybody who wants optimal health. And I say optimal tongue-in-cheek because I'm at a level of health right now that I didn't even know was possible in my 20s. I feel better now than I did before, but we don't know what's available until we live it.
Yeah, I love that. And I appreciate you coming on again today. This was awesome to reconnect, kind of catch up and hear different things that you're working on and what's changed over the past year or so. But before I let you go, I would love to ask you a final question here. If you could give one piece of advice to that entrepreneur, that side hustler who's really just getting started, but he's really looking to build that momentum with their business, what would you share with them?
I would say focus on you first, and not so much strategy. Focus on becoming a better you.
Can you explain a little bit more on that?
Yeah, become somebody who can handle what it means to be an entrepreneur, because not everybody can do that.
Yeah,
And so you want to grow yourself, read different books, go to different courses, work on yourself, work on healing your wounds, because that's actually a very big piece that most people overlook.
Love that. And would you mind sharing where do people follow you? How do they get in touch with you if they are interested in coaching with you?
Yeah, so the best place right now is my website, genuinelymaria.com, and there you can book a complimentary discovery session.
All right. There you guys have it. Genuinelymaria.com. Book one of those discovery sessions. If you're serious about your health and if you're in a situation, she's someone who's climbed back from nearly completely paralyzed, right? It was from the mouth down and really climbed herself back, changed her entire life around and is changing a lot of other people's lives around as well. So make sure that you're reaching out to her, stay connected and following along with her and her speaking career as well. So Maria, again, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
This is fun. Thank you.
All right, sweet. That's a wrap on this week's episode of Surviving the Side Hustle. If this conversation gave you something that you can use, would you do me a favor and follow the show? And then please leave a quick rating and review wherever you listen. It genuinely helps more entrepreneurs find these stories, and it helps spread the word of our guests. And if someone came to mind while you were listening, do us both a favor and share the episode their way. You can connect with me and find everything that we mentioned over at survivingthesidehustle.com. Until next time, remember, pay attention to what works for you and then do more of that. That's how you stop spinning and start winning.